This is Morning Coffee with STrEaM Academy. I am your host and principal and servant leader, Adam Mokelke. And with me, as always, is my usually positive and friendly and uplifting sidekick, Mrs. Beyondich, our administrative assistant. Good morning, Mrs. Beyondich. How are you today?
Good morning, Principal Mokelke. Now that we're in morning coffee and I have a cup of coffee and I'm with you, all is right with the world.
Why, thank you. We also have Miss Kotelman with us. Good morning, Miss Kotelman. So many of the good things and cool things that I know or become aware of come from Miss Kotelman. She's always got cool tips and tricks and things up her sleeve. One of those cool things is she listens to really low-key, relaxing music in her classroom when students are working, and it's this channel on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of different versions, but it's a channel called Lo-Fi. And it's even got, I've been in her classroom like, what is that cool little graphic? And why doesn't it change other than like the same thing over and over? Because it's on a little loop. This is Lo-Fi, courtesy of one of our awesome teachers, Ms. Kotelman. It is Wednesday, October 21st. We are in the second quarter already of the school year, believe it or not. Time seems to operate differently since March. And one of those ways it operates differently is sometimes feels like things are lasting forever, and then in other ways it feels like things are going way too fast. And that's kind of how this school year has felt for me so far, that in some ways time has taken on this eternity since March, since we changed how we do school, and yet in other ways the school year has just flown by. So here we are already in October, closing in on November. There are people out there who are putting up their Christmas trees, believe it or not. And second quarter's underway. Students have all new classes, and that's a whole different method than what we've always done. We've always had 7 classes at STrEaM, and you have them all semester long and sometimes all year long. Our students had either math and science or language arts and social studies first quarter, paired with a class that we dubbed Mission Vision. It's sort of an open elective enrichment type of course with the direction to our staff to do things that are mission and vision to STrEaM Academy: project-based learning, experiential education, STEM, extension and enrichment of the courses that they're teaching. That class has been really successful. It's been really cool to give our teachers that autonomy with our mission and vision and with that course, and to see the incredible things that they've done. So if your child had language arts and social studies first quarter, they now have math and science, and vice versa. I do want to say and share with you that Anchorage STrEaM Academy empowers our students to be involved learners, critical thinkers, and engaged citizens who are inspired by the natural world. That is our mission. And in today's day and age, it feels like that mission is more important than ever. It's funny, I've seen the accusations get tossed out about what school indoctrinates or teaches or pushes on kids. And in 20 years of doing this, I'm 21 now, never seen schools and public education push a particular agenda. What we do very well and what we work very, very hard at is to teach kids to think for themselves. Think for yourself. Your beliefs can be 100% totally different than the person next to you. As long as you are thinking for yourself, you're thinking critically, you're involved and engaged, you're welcome and inspired to take whatever route, whatever path you take. We want kids to think for themselves. We want them to do it in an intelligent and informed way. Who has something good they'd like to share with the STrEAM Academy community? What's something positive? What's something inspiring? It could be educational related. It could be what you're reading. Mrs. Bionich and I love to share what we're reading. We're reading a STEM book right now. I'm just finishing a book called Between the World and Me, which is an incredible read that I'd really recommend. So what inspiring good things? Miss Kotelman.
Okay, it's pretty lame, but it's awesome. Okay, so I have figured out how to remove clutter from my brain. I'm always working on this. And I archived all of my old emails from all of my email, from my professional email and my personal email. So my inbox is empty.
Wow.
When I'm done reading an email from now on, I archive it in the folder it goes. So my inbox is empty of old messages, and it's made my brain feel so free. And
that's great.
Yeah. Small things, small win.
Ms. Kotelman has given me a lot of inspiration over the years on different ways to stay organized and structured. And I stole what you said and posted my own version of it on Twitter, Ms. Kotelman. I kind of plagiarized you a little bit. I like what you said, sort of off the cuff in a meeting or something we did, conversation we had a week or so ago about self-care, a big term right now is self-care. And self-care is extremely important. And Ms. Kotelman made a comment about, self-care isn't, all about, bubble baths and eating cookies. Self-care is being organized and structured and managing.
Deleting all of your old messages from your email.
Yeah. Self-care is time management and taking care of yourself by completing tasks and staying organized and doing productive and good and healthy things. And so I kind of I was riffing on that on Twitter yesterday, and it got some positive feedback. I posted self-care isn't bubble baths and bonbons. It's being organized and structured, and it's making sure you go for your run or whatever you do for personal fitness and health regularly, not letting that lapse because you're busy. It's spending time with your loved ones and calling your mentor to check in and talk and things like that. So what are you doing that's positive and structured and productive for self-care out there? Ms. Bonertz, what are you doing for self-care?
Yesterday, right now I'm taking October event classes or webinars, and yesterday or last night, the one that I attended was called Calming the Nervous System. And so I have lots of fun things, like even just down to like music to listen to that makes your brain react differently for relaxing or for focusing or for sleeping. And so lots of like stretching techniques and just to kind of like cleanse your nervous system. So I did that last night. Sadly, I didn't sleep as well as I thought I would. But that was something that I was really pleasantly surprised. I really liked that. And another positive thing is, sorry, I'm one of those weirdos that likes winter. So I'm really digging the cold winter or the cold weather and walking my dog and seeing my breath in the cold air and the stars and everything. So yeah.
That's awesome. One of my favorite methods of self-care is running. And so winter tends to put a cramp in my style, and I'm trying not to let that beat me this year. And I got home yesterday and got out and ran a little over 4 miles and enjoyed the crisp, cool air. So it's good. Ms. Mickelson, what are you doing for self-care?
I am reading a lot, which is one of my favorite things to do to relax. And I am gearing up for whatever it will look like for the women's college basketball season. So I'm following my teams and just awesome. Hopefully they're going to be on TV. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not a super outdoorsy person, but I do walk my dogs as well. So awesome.
That's great. Anybody else, parents or anyone else, It's easier to call on people who have their camera on. Sorry, that's why I picked on you guys. Anyone else want to share what they do for self-care? It can be awkward on Zoom, but in teacher world, we have this thing called wait time, where when we ask a question, we're not supposed to jump right ahead. We're supposed to take a pause and wait.
Awkward in person too.
This is Sarah Wood. I'm a new parent.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. So one of the things I do for self-care is new to me for the last maybe 4 to 6 weeks is going to bed on time. Turns out that really helps. And then I don't know if you've ever heard of Calm app, but I also use the Calm. Thanks.
Yeah. Those are great methods. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Sarah. I'm familiar with the Calm app. I've even used it with students, and early on, before we had Miss Bonards, and I'm so thankful that we have her. I wore lots of hats, of course, like everyone at STrEAM, but definitely the second biggest hat I wore besides principal was counselor, and I did a lot of calming and breathing technique and relaxation technique with upset and stressed students in my office. And I used the Calm app a lot back then because I needed that tool. But now I don't have to do near as much of that, although I enjoy doing it because Ms. Bonards takes that, and it's so nice. Thank you, Ms. Bonards.
One of the great things that Ms. Kotelman and I were talking about earlier this morning over a cup of coffee is the importance of vitamin D. And so we have both upped our vitamin D intake, which I think will help a lot too this winter.
Yeah, definitely. I just went back to, I hadn't been taking it all summer, and I just started literally yesterday, just started taking it again. It's that time. We don't get a lot of sunlight in Alaska starting now for the next 3 months. And that makes my favorite day of the year. I'm a lifelong Alaskan, and this is a new thing in the last 5 or 6 years. But as I've gotten older, I've noticed each year the dark months bother me a little bit more. And so as a result of that, because I try to stay positive and look on the bright side, my favorite day of the year is winter solstice, because I know, and I even start putting it in my updates to staff, like this, I know we start gaining daylight, and that's hope, right? That little extra sliver of daylight represents a little bit of hope. And so I start putting in my morning updates. There's a website I can share with people that tells you the sunrise, sunset, and the amount of daylight. It's really cool. And I will tell them, hey guys, we gained 5 minutes of daylight today. It's really exciting. And then you actually, a couple months into it, you can actually start to see that difference. And there's always a day when I'm driving to work where I notice for the first time, at that time in the morning, I can see the mountains again. I'm like, oh, there are mountains here. Why didn't I notice those mountains before? And it's like, oh, because it's been dark for 3 months. So what do we have on the docket today? We have updates and important items we can touch on. Really excited that Mrs. Beyondich and Ms. Mickelson, our 501c3 board members, have really gotten our 501c3, the nonprofit arm of STrEAM Academy. And so the way charter schools are structured is charter schools have APC boards that oversee the school, but charter schools also have a nonprofit arm to support all the other endeavors. And ours has really taken off under their leadership and their hard work, because it takes a lot of work to run an actual 501c3, an actual nonprofit that's on file with the state, that's a tax entity and has an ID number and all of that good stuff. Like there's a lot that goes into it. It's not easy. It is a lot of work, and they've done that work, and it's really cool. And one of the exciting things they've done that I hope we can find ways to keep sharing, please share if you're able to share the Facebook post or whatever you can do, is they have got us on Amazon Smile. So you can go, and I did this right away. I had mine set up for St. Jude. I was donating my Amazon, a little extra kickback to St. Jude because it's a nonprofit I support, but I changed it over right away to STrEAM Academy. You can go to Amazon Smile and set up your Amazon Smile so that your purchases benefit STrEAM Academy. And so if you want more information, it's on our website, and on there's a Facebook post that explains how, or we can walk you through it. But please consider selecting Amazon Smile. So the next one we do like that, when the nonprofit has time, maybe we'll do pick, click, give. What do you think, Ms. Bionage? That'd be cool.
We're actually working on click, pick, give. That there's a little bit more involved in that. So we're hoping to have that available for, it might not happen for the January opening, but it'll happen the next year for sure. We're also working on Fred Meyer community rewards. And I think there's one attached to Car Safeway that we haven't yet done.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're working on those things.
Many people don't know about the community rewards for Fred Meyer, but if you can go in to the website, not on the app, but in the website, and select a charity for your rewards, and so we're trying to do that as well. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. That's really cool. So yeah, select, you see it up on the screen now. Just go to Amazon Smile on your Amazon account and just select STrEAM Anchorage. It'll give you a list of charities. Select STrEAM Anchorage, and it doesn't cost you any money, but a little bit goes to STrEAM Academy. So that's really cool. What else we have on the agenda? Ms. Kotelman has a really great topic. She shared this with students at the beginning of the year in our induction week, and I wanted our parents to hear this because our teachers still report that they have students who are working from their bed, curled up in their covers, which it's totally up to parents how they manage their students working from home. But what we've found is a shift in your mind and a shift in your workspace, even a small shift, can really make you more productive. It's hard to be productive from a cozy place. So Ms. Kotelman is going to talk about that today a little bit. We can touch base on conferences. Conferences are Thursday night, and it's kind of a special way of doing conferences this year. And Ms. Kotelman has led and structured and organized how we're doing that. So she can share and answer questions about that as well. We can check in with Mrs. Smith and see, with new Canvas classes coming, new Canvas classes starting. Hi, good morning, Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith can tell us about Canvas. Mrs. Boners can check in and tell us the latest from the Counselor's Corner. She's got a great website for those of you that haven't been there. It's on the STrEAM website. Full of resources, and she's always available for our students who need support. So that's kind of what's on the docket today. Get signed up for Amazon Smile. So upcoming important things to remember. Tomorrow, Thursday, is our conference night. And so from 4 to 7 p.m., teachers will be available on Zoom on the hour. So at 4 o'clock for 20 minutes, at 5 o'clock for 20 minutes, at 6 o'clock for 20 minutes, they will run back to school night style conferences. So this is not for what your child did first quarter. You can make an appointment for that, but Ms. Kotelman has devised a structure where all you have to do is ask your students to go through what they did first quarter, and they have a structure for that to go through that with you. So that should be able to be done independently. What tomorrow night, the purpose of tomorrow night is to introduce you to second quarter classes and second quarter teachers. So parents and guardians, I strongly recommend you log into one of those 3 sessions they're offering, meet the new teachers for second quarter, find out how the class is structured, and ask any questions that you might have, and just kind of hear from the teachers. Remember
just a little bit of housekeeping, Mr. Mokelke, is that in order to find that information, if it gets lost in your email, if you go to our website and on the calendar at the bottom of our website and you click on the event, you can link to information about how to get to the individual teacher links. So it's on our website on the calendar.
Thank you. on the website, on the calendar. You can search your email from the email that came out from me. And then also teachers have been sending out their welcome letters. So check your email, folks, and check your junk mail or your other filters if you haven't seen an email from me or from teachers that are your new teachers for this quarter. So you should have an email from me. I believe I sent it Monday about conferences with a link to the conference schedule and all the Zoom links. You should also have an email from at least one of the two new teachers. Some of them did it as pairs. They sent a pair email. So you should have an email with a welcome letter and some info. So we tried to get that information out to you in multiple ways to make sure that you have access. So at risk of being too redundant here, check our website, email from me, email from your teachers. There's 3 ways you can get that conference schedule and those conference links and more information. Students, of course, have access to Student Queue for their schedule and to Canvas to hop right on their classes. And it was fairly seamless the first couple days of the quarter. Seemed like I would say 95% of our students were able to get on Canvas, find the link, join class. They were good. We had a couple little snafus that we were able to work through. And then remember, Friday, per ASD's district calendar, there is no school on Friday. I would highly encourage some time on Alex and iReady. Need to be spending some time. iReady is super important to spend some time, hopefully a little time every day. Definitely, 60 to 90 minutes a week to fill those gaps in learning that might have occurred or might have grown over time. It's great at that for reading and math. And then Alex is sort of your grade level curriculum that you need to keep progressing through, even if you don't have math this quarter. So yeah, no school on Friday. Morning, Mr. Mosen. Who's this? Introduce us to this handsome gentleman who's with you.
That's my sidekick, Moki. I'm teaching him.
Moki.
Yeah, sit. Speak.
Hey, Moki.
Yeah, and he's learning to speak quietly because he realizes that I'm teaching and he can't be real noisy. So
Hello.
very supportive. And he's also a class mascot.
Awesome. Morning, Connor. Good to see you.
Hey, Connor. You remember Moki? Of course.
Yeah, I do. I remember
Moki, say hi to Connor.
walks with him with the class.
See that?
Hey, Moki.
I don't know if he understands the sound coming out of a computer. It's just.
He's like, wait.
He does understand biscuit. He likes that word.
So
Dogs love food.
That's our upcoming events. Remember also, we're getting close to November. The district has 2 days where there is no school coming up, and that's November 3rd. That's election day. There's no school. And then November 11th is Veterans Day, and there's no school on those days. And then, of course, the 26th and 27th is my favorite holiday of all the holidays, for reasons that you could probably guess at. I love to cook, for one, and I love food. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. I love the gathering of family and loved ones, although we have to do that in very small, people who are in your circle already, small groups, no big gatherings. Keep your bubble small. We don't want Thanksgiving to be a super spreader. But yeah, so we got those dates coming up with no schools. So skipping back up to this wonderful slide, I would like to turn it over to Miss Kotelman, one of our founding teachers at STrEaM. She's been with us, the first teacher I ever hired for STrEaM Academy. Miss Kotelman has that distinction. Been with us since we opened the doors, and Miss Kotelman's also working on a master's degree in educational leadership. And she's doing some principal intern type things with me and with Highland this semester, which is funny because her principal intern projects are really not at all different than what she's done for years, which is take on additional school management and structural and professional development type tasks and do them really, really, really well. So now she just has like an official reason for doing that, not just like, hey, can you help me? So I would like to introduce someone who is going to be an outstanding administrator when she's ready to do that, but hopefully still with STrEAM Academy as long as possible. And that's Ms. Kotelman.
All right, I'm gonna take the sharing. I'm gonna do the thing. Okay, so as Mr. McCulkey prefaced earlier, I'm here to just talk a little bit about how your environment affects your productivity and all of this. Prior to going into this online learning space, we learned in fourth quarter last year that a lot of students struggled to stay focused, to feel like they were actually in school. So we decided to give them a bit of a background information on how to set up a workspace. I did some research, and based on my own nerding out on productivity things and stuff like that, talked to a few people who do freelance work, found blog posts. I've read a ton of stuff on how workspace affects your ability to mentally be present. So your environment matters. And so this is a slideshow that was one that we gave students during induction week. This is a project or an activity we did during that very first week of school. And I think it's right now is a reasonable time to check in with that again, to make sure we're practicing those, as Mr. McCulkey said, less than thrilling, not quite bubble bath, self-care moments that help us stay stress-free or manage our stress and things like that. So our home has to be all spaces for everyone. It has to be a workspace for the kids, a school space for the kids, a workspace for parents, a play space, a sleep space, a food space. Like it has to be everything right now. And that can be very challenging. And creating a workspace and communicating with others is paramount. And then we're going to talk about how to stay committed to it. So we talked to students about how doing school in a distance setting, it has to serve more functions. And there are all these extra distractions that are with you that were not with you when you were in school, or that students have to figure out how to manage themselves, whereas they had adults in the classroom to manage them for them before. Like an 11-year-old wasn't responsible for making sure that there wasn't extra noise or other people talking to them. A teacher did that for them. So we have to make sure that they are set up for success. We had them talk to us. We had a little share and talk about which distractions do you think are worse for you, internal or external. We talked about how students were more likely to feel those internal distractions working from home than working in school. Because if they were hungry, they could just walk over to the fridge. They could just go do it. It was fine. And so those internal distractions were a lot more. And then there were just like a greater amount of external distractions too. Like I watched a boy's little brother like climb on his head during class, like just sitting on the couch driving to school, and he just like climbed on it. This is in fourth quarter. So I talked to them a little bit about how our brain responds to our setting. And what's important is to have a plan and to kind of have an idea of when I feel this, here's what I'm going to do, or here's what I'm going to do to avoid feeling that way. So having a plan helps you limit your internal distractions. It lets your family know, like, hey, I'm in a space right now where I need to focus. I'm trying to do school right now. I'm actually not in this space. I'm in a different space. And it cues your brain to stick to the task at hand. It's really hard to stay focused on school when you're in your bed, which is where you sleep, or you're sitting on your couch, which is where you play your video games. It's really hard for your brain to keep that connection. And this is what I've heard from people who do freelance work, who have been working from home since before the pandemic. So the space, we were talking about how it's to be as best we can manage. We know lots of people are sharing spaces that this is not really conducive in. We know that this is something that is a problem, but as best you can, it should be separate from play and relaxing areas and items. It should be comfortable. You shouldn't be uncomfortable, and it should have a nonverbal signal. And separate from play and relaxing areas can be a simple shift as well. I mean, separate from a play and relaxing area, say the only place a student can work is at a couch. if they have like a little table, like a TV tray or something that they put their computer on, and they have their pens and their pencils and their notebooks and their stuff with them, that is separate. That is different. Maybe they have to work in their room and they have to sit at their bed. If they get a little table where they can sit on their bed and have their table on them, that's separate from being in sleep mode. So that helps them stay focused. Maybe the noise and stuff is a problem. Headphones can help you be separate. So this nonverbal signal is really important too. And we had students talk about ways they could communicate with their families that they're working. You could make a little sign. You could tell your parents that like, hey, when this teddy bear is on the kitchen table, this means that I'm in school right now. And having that communication, and this can help with little siblings too. You can tell your little 4-year-old sibling who wants to play with you or climb on your head during school that when this teddy bear is on the table, you have to wait. And just communicating and teaching and having an open dialogue about it. So the assignment for students was to answer a few questions about their workspace, acknowledge their distractions, acknowledge what is a barrier, and then make a plan. And then they sent us pictures of their spaces too. If something isn't working, try another thing. Your space can be mobile and simple. It doesn't have to be a fancy desk with, it doesn't have to be like their teacher workspaces where you have 2 monitors and a ring light and like a microphone. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be simple. You can take your breaks in separate areas to further solidify that mind-setting connection. So that way you're not eating your lunch in your workspace if it's something that people can manage. And if it isn't, those small shifts in your space can help. You can declutter your space, remove things you're not actually using. I put on my daily task list to clear my desk off at the end of every day. So in the morning when I wake up, it's ready to go. And have supplies you might need close by in an accessible place. You can put them in like a little caddy, or you can have like a little tray that you put them in. Keep your water bottle with you so you're ready to go. Be dressed for the day. I could be wearing pajamas right now, and I love wearing pajamas. However, I feel sleepy and like I'm not present when I wear pajamas to work. So I put regular clothes on, just sit in my desk chair on Zoom, and it helps. It's a big deal. So what the students did was they had to copy this doc, they had to build their space, attach a photo, and explain how their decisions helped them. So with this in mind, it's really important that if students are struggling to stay focused, this can be a way to help. And it can be really fun too, to talk about ways to make yourself like your own home classroom. I've seen so many crafts and projects where parents took these science trifold boards and put like the student's schedule on one side, and they had like a little banner on the top that said like Lily's desk, and it was very sweet. And then it can be a fun opportunity to like redecorate, reestablish. And it's this, it doesn't have to be a big like, okay, we're going to sit down and focus now. It's fun. So I want to give the message that as Ms. Beyondich said in the chat, STrEAM Academy has supplies to help you set up your workspace. We do have a couple of student desks that we can give out, and we also have trifold boards to help you build these signals in your home to help students stay focused. Ms. Beyondich and Mr. McCulkey, do we also have headphones and any materials in that way that can help?
Yes, and even just basic school supply materials, we can put together a little bag for anybody that needs those things. But yes, we have headphones. We can provide headphones to all of our students. And I'd say if you're in a house with other kids doing other things and other busyness, headphones would be really important.
So if anybody wants any support with building a workspace to work where they are, because I know that families you have 6 people families in a home that has to be work, school, and home at the same time. If you are stuck or unsure, email me, email and CC Mr. McCulkey and Ms. Beyondich, and we can see what we can get you. I think in a past life, I might have been like an interior design productivity guru or something, because I love this stuff. So I'm happy to help with any of this. So send me an email, get in touch, and let's make sure your kid is set up for success.
Awesome. That is super helpful and good advice and good structures for folks. So I really appreciate it, Ms. Kotelman. A separate workspace, anything that can constitute a workspace that's separate from your personal and cozy and comfortable and relaxing spaces helps to shift our brains. And like Ms. Kotelman said, if you need help with that, we've been saying since the beginning of the year, please let us know. We will help figure it out, and we'll help provide you with some resources to set up that workspace. We've actually given away 3 or 4 simple folding desks that we acquired, right, Ms. Bionich? We have a couple left. And yeah, whatever else we can do to help that. So thank you, Ms. Kotelman. That was awesome.
Really quick.
Sure.
As an extension activity, if parents are interested, I saw this video and it really inspired me. Unfortunately, it was a little advanced for students because it moves really fast. It's called Lockdown Productivity Spaceship U from a YouTuber called CGP Grey. And I'm going to copy it and paste it into the chat. And he talks a lot about how we are on a mission. We are on Spaceship Us. It's our responsibility to keep it turning, to keep those moving. And here's how having those separate workspaces help a lot. So if parents, you're super interested in this productivity stuff, you should definitely check out the video, Lockdown Productivity Spaceship U from CGP Grey on YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you. What about folks out there who are with us? What have you done to set up a separate workspace? Like I have a whole desk and sort of work center that I've had to set up in my home for the day that usually Wednesday I work from home.
Yeah, my mom just set up her desk in my dad's old bedroom, and then I have my desk in my bedroom.
Awesome. Got a desk set up. That's a separate workspace. Good. Thanks, Connor. What else have folks done? Adults, to make yourselves productive, or for students? What have you done to set up a separate workspace out there?
At the very beginning, before school started, we made sure that we bought Caitlin a desk, and that was very hard to come by at the beginning of the school year. Obviously, we should have started in the summer, but we did find a desk, and so we got her all set up, and then we ended up buying we ended up with a gaming chair just because supposedly these are more comfortable, and it seemed to be a motivator for her. So we got lucky and bought a used gaming chair. And then I also have a little desk that I have set up now so that I'm not on the dining room table, which is really nice. And it definitely does help your mindset. So thank you, Ms.
That's
Cole.
awesome.
It's very helpful.
Thank you for sharing. That's really cool. For those of you that are more crafty, I've done a couple of these, and it's not easy. Well, I mean, it's not super difficult, but you have to have a little bit of skill. There's this really neat lady who is on YouTube, and she has a website. She's on the social medias, and she's actually what I thought, I just, for whatever reason, as an Alaskan, find it really cool. She's Alaskan. She's Alaskan native. She's born and raised Alaskan. Her husband's a contractor. I think they're like up in Delta or Delta Junction or something. And she has become like a YouTube guru sensation, like millions and millions of followers. With simple do-it-yourself at-home type home projects, and so her name is Anna White. I follow her. I just put a link, annawhite.com, and so she did. If you're crafty and you want to get in the garage and use some hand tools, I know she has done a couple of things during the pandemic. Along the lines of setting up a home workspace, like making a little do-it-yourself desk, do-it-yourself workspace. So just something kind of cool that I follow. I've made a couple of the things from her, and she provides, blueprints and YouTube like video to walk you through it. And it's pretty cool. It's also kind of in keeping with us as a STEM school. It would make an awesome STEM project. So yeah, I just pull up her website here, but I think, oh, and now I'm showing political ads, sorry. I know if you dig in her website a little bit, there are, not just seeing it right off the bat, but there are do-it-yourself like little desks and workspaces that she'll walk you through how to do. So check that out. What else? Who else out there wants to share what you've done? Thank you, Nikki. I really appreciate that. And desks are hard to come by. We actually had a professional from Northern Office come in and look at our 2 new office spaces we're moving into on the main floor. And I wanted new furniture, new desks and bookshelves for Mrs. Bionich and I to make the front offices of STrEAM look nice. And then we just got a message from him yesterday saying, I can't help you. And it's because furniture is so back ordered and like it's so hard to get furniture right now. We have an actual furniture company who, usually they're dying to sell us this stuff. They're like, nope, sorry, can't help you right now. So we can't get furniture. So that's, I don't know, it's kind of funny.
This is Sarah. We bought a artist loft desk at Michael's.
Cool.
And it actually comes almost pre-assembled. And if you get a coupon, it's probably around $120. And it actually has little cup holders for pencils. Now, Liam loves drawing and things like that, but we've kind of had to like make a makeshift school desk out of it rather than bogging it down with art supplies. So that is an option, but those are also going fast.
That's awesome. We ended up getting some really simple desks from Amazon, the ones that we've been sharing with families, and I'd be interested to see if Amazon still has those or if they're getting sold out as well.
Tell you what a couple of the 8th graders are doing, like similar to what I'm doing right now, which is I'm on my kitchen table and they're stacking books and doing standing desks. And like we have these moments of like responding with your body to whatever is going on. And that's really been very helpful. So we're like, a lot of us are abandoning the desk altogether and just doing standing desks.
That's awesome. Yeah, Mrs. Bionich is a big standing desk fan. And I know a lot of people have.
That seems to be handling a internal distraction of needing movements. See? Plan for everything. Love it.
Awesome.
Walmart and I think I saw them at Lowe's as well have folding tables of different sizes that are height adjustable also, which work really well.
Very cool. Good discussion. What about workspaces? What are our workspaces and how can we be more productive in this? It's funny, a year ago, we would have never thought to have this discussion, right? Kids do homework and we work at home before the pandemic, and we never thought about, having an intentional discussion about workspaces. So it's amazing the different ways that our world has changed. Just to do a little bit of gear switching. So we're in 2nd quarter now. Kids have all new classes. If they had math and science Q1, they now have language arts and social studies. If they had language arts and social studies Q1, they now have math and science. They have a new team of teachers, a new pair that are teaming up, one for each subject, and then they're combining their forces in different ways on the projects or the mission vision class, as we call it. So the best way, I think, for students to get on those new classes is they seem to know this intuitively already, is to go right to Canvas, and the links are there and the information's there. Seemed like it's been fairly seamless so far, but I wanted to give Mrs. Smith a chance, our Canvas guru, to talk about Canvas and share anything, in terms of 2nd quarter we might want to know, or grades for 1st quarter. Also a chance for you to ask questions. If you have questions about Canvas, this is a good time.
Many parents have already done this, which is super, really, 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 really awesome. But you need to sign up as a parent observer on your students' Canvas Q2 courses. And I don't know if this is correct or not. My information says it's not correct, but it appears as though many people were just automatically parent observer on the quarter 2 courses, or maybe they were just that fast in signing up. Anyways, just if you're not in Canvas as a parent observer on your students' accounts, please do that. Even if you have an 8th grade student, like I was talking to an 8th grade parent the other day, they're like, well, I'm trying to do gradual release, which is, putting more responsibility on the student, but we still need to be looking into what our students doing. And the best way to stay in the know is just being an observer. And you can just quickly see, without even talking to your student, looking at the to-do list, for example, does my student have a lot to do, or can I take them for a getaway this weekend? Or do I need to make sure I'm reserving some time for them to get caught up, for example? That's all I can think of to say here at the beginning. You're muted.
Well, it's got to happen at least once a Zoom, at least once per Zoom session, that I'm happily talking away and someone has to tell me I'm muted. One of these days, you guys are just going to let me keep going and keep talking and enjoy the silence. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. I appreciate you sharing. Questions out there from staff or students or parents? Anybody have questions for Mrs. Smith about Canvas or anything tech related? Mrs. Nikki.
I more so just had oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
I more so just had a comment that, I was really hoping that, I know that when we went to switch to the new quarter and the new teachers, I kept referring, Caitlin to go and look on her Canvas account. I was like, why don't you go look for your Zoom, and figure out, because I'm sure that your teachers have shared that with you. She said that she didn't have that information on there. So I don't know. I was just kind of throwing that out that, she kind of felt lost, and so I was having to text Miss Sylvia and Miss Sylvia, who does she have first? And, just making sure, but just more so of a comment that if, they could have that information a little ahead of time, then that would lower the anxiety of, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go, which Zoom link to go on to. So,
right.
And maybe it was available and maybe she just didn't know how to navigate that. I'm not positive. So
no, that's really good feedback. So there's also Canvas inbox. So a lot of teams inbox message students before Monday so that they would see it in a list, or here's what you do and you click on this. Because when you're looking at your dashboard, right, you see these 3 courses and you're like, which one do I click on? There's nothing that tells you necessarily. So you click on one and then hopefully it is posted on the homepage. I mean, in most cases it's posted on the homepage, but maybe you have to scroll down a little bit. A lot of teachers have a Bitmoji classroom, like a little graphic image that you can click on things in that image. And then that makes it a little bit more obvious, but everybody has a slightly different pattern or routine. And when you're getting used to the new teacher's routine, it's where do you look? Right, I understand. So one universal practice that we need to be more consistent with, I think that might kind of fill in the gaps. Oh, another problem is that classes aren't published to students until a certain date. So even though a teacher clicks publish on the course, the students don't actually see it. I think this time it was till Monday. I don't know if the extension applied to them or not. So they didn't even get to see the new courses until Monday, even though I was going back in tutorials and I was like, wait, because I was talking to a new person to our school this quarter, wasn't with us at all quarter 1, and I was like, I just clicked the publish button. You don't see the course? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, district doesn't even let them see the courses until Monday, which is another kind of thing. Anyway, a universal catch-all that we can ensure, quality over our school is just having all of our teachers Canvas inbox message all the students. And when they're looking at their Canvas on the left, there's this vertical blue called global navigation. And one of the little icons says inbox, and it'll have a number on there for having many messages. And I know most teachers are using that, but maybe not all students are aware of how that works. But like I said, all of my whole new cohort from the next quarter, I have access to messaging them because the course was tied to me. So they may, in other grade levels, they may not know the teacher who's messaging them, but if they're trained to go to those messages, they'll open up that message and see, oh, that's a message from my new teacher. Cool. Anyway, open up that message, and that's kind of a universal catch-all. But yeah, And somebody was saying in the chat that the Canvas courses account was automatically updated with the quarter switch, and their new classes were listed, which is cool. Must have been there's always new updates. And yeah, classes and schedules and classes in Canvas are not necessarily in the same order, and you can rearrange those course tiles. So when they're looking at dashboard and they see those 3 little tiles there for their 3 courses, you or the student can click and drag those so that now they're in period 1, 2, 3 order to help it make more sense. Yeah.
And then just one last question.
Yeah.
Do the students actually have their own email account?
In our district,
or is it just through Canvas?
No, yeah, through Canvas only. In our district, unfortunately, no. But yes, through Canvas, which is one of the great things a lot of us love about Canvas, is we can directly message the students now, as if it was through email.
Okay.
It's a little basic, like when I'm messaging a student, I have to put, and I want to tell them to go here or go there, I have to like write those words. I can't link in things like in my Canvas course. And if I'm saying go to this assignment, I just like literally click and drag a link over, and they just like click. They don't even have to remember what's the name of that thing and go to that thing. In the Canvas inbox, we actually have to say, go to announcements, see week at a glance. I can't link in the week at a glance. So in that way, it's a little clunky, but simplistic messages are great. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. 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 Thank you, Mrs. Smith. And thanks for the questions, Nikki. I love it when parents ask questions on morning coffee, because I feel like
so, like another thing. Oh, we need to have all of our teachers.
I feel like, everybody probably wants to hear the answer. If a parent has a question, it's good for everyone. Anyone else are there any other questions about Canvas or anything about starting up Q2 new classes that we can tackle?
I have a question. I'm just gonna be bold here and be like, I think I'm one of those parents who has tried to make Liam a little bit more independent than he is capable of doing. And at Trailside, we're new to STrEAM. At Trailside, they used to have Trailside web blocks, and we would open that up and it would have everything, every link that they use. Does STrEAM have something like that? Because I feel like I'm missing a lot of things already. I just feel kind of lost.
Yeah, we hope that Canvas is that one place. And there is some debate. What grade level did you say?
He's a 6th grader.
Okay. There is some conversation among the 6th grade and younger teachers. Laura, Miss Kotelman can speak more to the 6th grade teachers here, among using something that's, oh my gosh, I'm losing my words. One second, Clever, called Clever, which is a universal sort of login place. Are you familiar with Clever? Where you click on Clever and all of those little things are there. Unfortunately, not all of our things are on Clever. Like one of our programs that we use at our school is called Alex for math. And it doesn't have the ability to have a link on Clever. So it doesn't work. Everything doesn't work, unfortunately. Were you gonna say something?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a baby. So yes, so there is some talk about using Clever, but like our against Clever is that like Alex doesn't work on Clever, but iReady is on Clever, and we are directing students, for example, to click on Clever for iReady, and there's a whole bunch of other things like Brain Pop is on there, which is great, which a teacher
also Sora, our ebook,
yes,
our online ebook library that students can access and log into very easily. We did an assignment in language arts with Sora yesterday. They had to sign in and check out a book.
Yeah.
Use Clever. I think Clever is a good thing. It's just the only thing that's outside of Clever is Alex.
Yeah. So, well, there's a few things, at least on our level, that we've used that we don't, it won't go in Clever. Anyway, so Clever is a universal access point. Yes. And then second, we hope that a link to Clever and everything is in Canvas, hopefully, you know. So there's like a resource, a lot of teachers have like a class resources post. It's called a page in their Canvas course, and on there, that's where I put everything that I'm going to at any point is all collected there, and I'll put a link on that to any assignment, for example. But that's another thing to talk with our teachers about, just so in case they're not aware of those things.
Awesome. Sarah, I hope that helps. And we love seeing babies on morning coffee, by the way. And Ms. Kotelman and Mrs. Smith, thank you again for contributing and jumping in and helping out with all of this. I really appreciate it. All right. I think the next stop we have on the morning coffee train is at the Counselor's Corner. So I am going to just take this opportunity to check in with Ms. Bonertz and see if she has anything she wants to share with folks. Ms. Bonertz,
Yes.
how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, thank you. I not a bunch of updates because Q2 is just already so crazy for parents and teachers and students, and but I do want to let everybody know that on my Canvas counseling page, I have just added appointments for the rest of the semester, or Q2. So if your student needs somebody just to chat at or vent or whatever, encourage them to set up an appointment with me. Just having an extra ear to listen is always really good. And then I also have, so I do know that we do have a new parent here. So I put in the chat box the link to my website. My website is full of great information, from suicide prevention to calming activities to exercise to healthy recipes for kids. Like, there's just a plethora of things there. So I do encourage you. I have one parent told me that they have my website bookmarked. So if they ever need it, or ever, their student ever needs to have a brain break, I have tons of stuff on that website too. Healthy things for kids to do to relieve stress, or things like that. So check that out. And again, encourage your students to make appointments with me. And they don't have to fill in those appointment slots. I've had a lot of students just simply Canvas message me, which works amazing, and just say, Miss Bonertz, can we talk tomorrow after period 1? I'm like, yep, let's talk. What time? And so I give them the Zoom information, and it's great. So that's really been working. And so I just want to really encourage parents that I'm here for your kids. So let them know that there's somebody else to talk to besides you or their teachers or what have you. So yeah, thanks, Mr. McCookie.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Bonertz. We appreciate it. We also are, I want to share a little bit on this. We are in a very small and as safe as possible way. We have slowly started opening up to individual or really small groups of students coming in the building. So what we're offering right now is, if your student is struggling to focus, to complete work, to stay on track, they need that focused, quiet work environment, and some supervision and some support from school. You can call Mrs. Bionich or I, or email Mrs. Bionich or I, and talk with us, and we will set up a day, probably not Wednesday, because I try to work from home Wednesdays. And my rule right now is, if we're gonna have any students in the building, I need to be there. Considering all the circumstances and how touchy it is right now with being in the middle of a pandemic, I want to be personally responsible for when we have students coming in. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, you can make an appointment to have your child come in and just work at school. They still log into their online classes. They still Zoom. What we've seen is, for those students who have really struggled for some reason, in some way, for a variety of reasons, the students who have really struggled, what they have reported themselves, sort of unsolicited, is, wow, it was so nice to be able to just come and sit and work in a quiet, structured space. Of course, Mrs. Bionich and Ms. Bonertz and I check on them. We spend some time, we talk to them on the breaks. We've taken turns just going and walking the park, or going outside for some fresh air. And then Mr. B works in the building almost every day, our 7th grade math teacher. And Mr. B has made himself available for those students who want to come and work in the building, and especially want to get some extra help with math, or just spend some more time on Alex. or iReady Math. Mr. B has been available at 1:30 after the Zoom schedule, and he's helped students out. So far what that's looked like is we've only had 1 or 2 students at a time, which is perfect because small numbers, social distancing, and we're practicing all those safety protocols. But if you have the need or that need arises, we're offering that. And then the other way we're offering some really limited and very structured face-to-face is Mrs. Smith and Miss Goodman, the 8th grade team, has now had two different events where they've allowed groups of 5 students to come to school and not even enter the building. They meet in the parking lot, and they've done some of their science project things in groups in person. That's worked really well. Mrs. Goodman has been really strict about the social distancing, keeping 6 feet apart, making sure we have masks on and not sharing materials. And yet we've been able to come in and do the tree coring activity where they drilled a core out of a tree to analyze the tree core as part of their forest and fire project. And then also the actual forest fire simulation, which is something to look forward to in 8th grade. It's really, really cool. They put matchsticks in a grid in different patterns and at different angles and light the matches to simulate how fire spreads and how forest fire will spread as part of their project. Really, really cool activity to watch and to see. So we're doing those small, very careful, very limited face-to-face options for kids, but primarily with cases, really, really spiking in the last few weeks, and the coronavirus still really disrupting our lives. I mean, primarily we're virtual, and we're happy with that because it's working really well. Our teachers are doing an incredible job. Our students have stayed very engaged. So that's sort of where we're at with that. Right now, things change constantly. I know right now our plan is to be back face-to-face semester 2 on January 4th. My initial hopes and plans are that we will do what we've done so far, which is if we do return face-to-face and change learning modes, you'll have lots of notice and time to prepare. Our teachers will have a lot of notice and time to prepare. We'll do some type of an induction week, where at that point in January, it'll have been 3 quarters since students have been in school, and we'll ease them back in. We may even look at a couple of days where students aren't in the building right at the start, just to give teachers a chance to really get ready. But so far, right now, the district's plan is to be back January 4th, and we'll see how that develops. We'll keep people posted. Okay, it is 9 o'clock. Wow, that snuck up on me. I apologize, folks. Want to let folks go that need to go and that have other things going on this morning, of course. Do you want to put in a plug? Students should be working regularly, whether you're in math or not, on ALEX, our online math curriculum, especially if you don't have math this quarter. We really need students to continue to progress in math. And then the same with reading. iReady provides those lessons and instruction to fill gaps and to keep students developing in reading and math. So as always, not just on Wednesday, every day, but then especially more time on Wednesday, make sure students are doing ALEX and iReady. And reach out to me if there's any issues with ALEX, and Miss Bonertz is our point person and the best contact for iReady. Either of us will help you or just direct you to the other person. I love this quote. Mr. Mosen liked it. I shared it with him one day, and I had this on there for him. Mr. Mosen, if you're still with us, here's your quote: "Get up, dress up, show up, and never give up." Dress up, even if you're working from home, right, Ms. Kotelman?
Yep, I like that quote. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anything for the good of the order? Folks are, if you need to go, you're welcome to sign out. I'll stay on for a minute for those that want to stay on. I'm going to end the YouTube feed here. So for our YouTube audience, thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you that are taking the time to watch this when it's not live, or asynchronous, as we say now in our new world, thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. We appreciate it. And I'm going to